Harland. I'm the project manager here at Our Hands on the Land. The land before the project was very poor, very dry, full of weeds and weed seed. So we've tried to develop a number of areas on site so that we can actually grow something. So it totals to approximately about 4 acres of land that we've got that we use, and it's full now.
My name's Kim Warren. I'm the Food Education Officer at Stirling Community Farm. Well, when we arrived, we had a derelict farm. It hadn't been used for 10 years, so the buildings were very run down, and the site itself was quite overgrown. So we've cleared the site, which took quite a few months, and we've started renovating the buildings. And as you can see, we're standing in the cattle housing at the moment. This used to be dairy stalls, and we've turned this into winter housing for our cattle.
My name's Sarah Cundy and I'm a local food project officer and I work for the Wiltshire Wildlife Trust. It was unused before, totally unused. When we first came it was a bit sort of a challenge to think how we were going to utilise it, whereas now it's a really lovely space. It was just laid to lawn and wasn't really looked after. This part of the garden we're in now was part of a tenant's garden, and it was a very large garden that was a bit unmanageable really, whereas now the residents are taking ownership and they want to do lots of other things outside, and I think that's kind of really important sense of belonging and just taking ownership of where you live.
My name is Anna Francis. I'm Director of Sutton Community Farm and Project Manager for the One Planet Food Programme in Sutton. So when we first started, we were really just starting from scratch. It was just an empty field, so we had to, with the lottery funding, it was absolutely fantastic. It meant that we could install all the infrastructure that we needed. So we've built this packing shed that we're in at the moment out of recycled materials. We've got electricity connection, we've got mains water, we've got the rainwater recycling. We're really just setting it up so that it can be a proper self-sustaining enterprise for the long-term future.
Things that we've put in place are obviously the educational kitchen. We've got a fully equipped kitchen there for all age ranges, and we've got the classroom as well, that we do all sorts of activities in there. We've got a number of polytunnels, we've got an allotment site, and we've got a number of raised beds on site as well.
The magnificent grant allowed us to build our splendid food house, which has facilitated maybe 9,000 people through now, so we're on target, and it has allowed children to come and learn how their food is grown, how they have to pick it and look after it and harvest it and bring it into the cookhouse and eat it, which is an absolute wonderful for these young children who have no idea in some cases where their food actually comes from.
As well as the buildings, we've also set up an acre training garden. This was in response to the community who were already doing food growing activities, but they needed more information and knowledge and skills around food growing. So we've set up an area where they can grow vegetables, fruit and orchards, as well as our new hives of bees, to come and learn about how to grow their own food in their own gardens, school grounds and community.
We've been able to go into the heart of a lot of the communities. So we've got 12 growing sites altogether with the 3-year project, so we call them community growing spaces, and all of those have been able to access people that might not traditionally be able to go out to other projects. It's something that's on their doorstep, so for example if there's kind of anxiety issues, that kind of thing, that's sometimes a bit of a barrier. There's a barrier being able to get to places, I think, as well. So by having them on their doorstep, it just increases access and it kind of fosters a good sense of community as well.
We go in and we liaise with the residents, and we sit down with them, we talk to them, we tell them this is what we're going to be doing, this is what we're going to be hopefully achieving, so we give them a goal and aims and objectives, and after that then we go in and we build the raised beds and we build the soil, but all in partnership with them. We've never gone in and we've never built anything without the residents being completely and utterly involved, because hopefully at the end of it we can then hand everything over to them and they take complete and utter ownership of it.
We've got a core group of about 8 to 10 regular volunteers, and the activities range from site maintenance to actually planting to harvesting, to building raised beds, to maintaining the land, also everything really. We couldn't survive without the volunteers. They're brilliant.
We also have volunteer opportunities. So every Tuesday we have at least 10 volunteers come down, and they could be helping to renovate our buildings, they could be helping to manage our meadows, look after the livestock, and a big number of people come to maintain our fantastic food growing area because they realise that a little bit of input can have such an impact on the groups that come here.
In terms of access to the space and local foods, we've had over 700 volunteers in the last couple of years. We do a veg bag for 100 families and households every week. We also supply local veggies to other markets and other box schemes as well. So I'd say a few thousand people have increased access to fresh local produce.
I think this project has given the adults and the children a great opportunity to explore something that they've never had the opportunity to do before.
It's our job now to make it continue, and already, as though there's a year and a half to go, we're already targeted in on that sustainability of the project, because you know it does happen sometimes that a project's set up and it tears away, fades away. We're not going to tear away, we're actually going to get stronger.
At the end of the local food project, Sutton Community Farm will be a thriving social enterprise, self-sustaining, providing placements, skill development, job opportunities, volunteering opportunities, and really just a great resource for the whole community, and also a place for families to come and people to eat healthy, sustainable local food, and also hopefully a model for other areas to follow too. In terms of the actual infrastructure, we'll obviously have the community shed so people can come up here and use that, have all the facilities that we need. We'll also have sort of office equipment and things so that they can function as a proper enterprise long term.
Projects like Local Food that join people up with these material assets are absolutely crucial. We can't have one without the other. The whole purpose of the project is to bring people and farming and wildlife skills and learning together. And unless we get extra funding, we will not be able to grow in the way that we have the potential. And indeed, the enormous demand from the community that want to keep coming back and staying longer and doing more in-depth work with us.